Boy, oh boy. You know, it's great. I mean, that's a great saying. I mean, boy, oh boy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, but because O is just a letter, it's not really a word, but boy, oh boy. We're back for yet another episode of the TrapHouse podcast. Episode 31, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between. We look out for everybody around here. Everyone. If you're a you and you listen to this, you must be doing something right. Because in fact, in my opinion, Epiphany Chris just has all the right things to say at the right time. Probably not. I mean, I get it. Yeah, it'll make no sense because I never say the right things at any of the right times because right doesn't even exist. Left don't exist. Up don't exist. Down don't exist. I mean, fuck, what is even distance anyway? Distance wouldn't be anything because zero doesn't exist. It doesn't live inside of distance. How could you have zero distance? You couldn't. So how is it that we can limit ourselves to a distance? How is it that we limit ourselves to how far we can go? Why is it that we limit our choices? Why is it we limit our experiences? Why is it we limit our successes? Why is it that we as humans choose to limit ourselves to this or that? Why do we? Why do you? Why do we wake up and limit ourselves? Is it because when you look around and everything you see in the distance there's a limit to it? There's a limit to the speed. There's a limit to how many deals you can get at the store. There's a limit to this. There's a limit to that. There's a limit to how many coupons you can use. Why are we so limited as human? Being that we are human and you are, at your core, capable of all. There's no limit to all, from what I could gather, based on if you were to have all the apples, there's no more apples to possess, if in fact you have all of them. So there's no limit to all, because apples could keep on coming. So why limit yourself? I would choose to not limit. Don't put a limit on what you are capable of. Don't put a limit on what others are capable of. Because by doing that, we all know what happens when you start limiting others. That's called criticism. You limit others, in fact, if you say they can and cannot with your criticism based on your knowledge of a situation. Don't seem right. So to place a limit on any, or to place a limit on yourself. If you look in the mirror every day and you say, well, I can only get away with doing this. I can only do this. I can only do that. Well, wake the fuck up, you. Because you are 100, if 100 is a thing, you are to the max capable of going way beyond 100. If 100 were a thing, but since 100 is not a thing, you are capable of being you today. And it's up to you to choose wisely on who that you choose to be today is. And if you choose to be it, who's to say you're limited to any? It seems like a no limit to me. And if in fact you limit yourself, I would just take a quick look in the mirror. You don't even got to take a long look in the mirror, you know what I mean? Like that 2 minutes you're brushing your teeth, you're looking at yourself in the mirror. And you are going to set limits for yourself on the day? How dare you? You can only do this, you can only do that. That don't make sense to me. How dare you limit yourself? Don't do it. Put the fucking pedal all the way to the floor every day. Because to limit yourself on today would be to limit yourself on all todays. Which all today is just today because there's no tomorrow, there's no yesterday. So for you to put a limit on what you are capable of today would put a cap on what you are capable of, period. Because whatever you can say you can do tomorrow, without a doubt you could do it today. So why wait? Don't fucking limit yourself. A big shout out to the guy who inspired me today, because I'll tell you right now, if it wasn't for me talking to this human and engaging and knowing a little bit more about this human, this podcast probably wouldn't be being done right now. because I was limiting myself to what was capable of being done today. But I'm not sure about you folks. I look at time a little different. Time is much different because all you have is today. And they say time is a thing and it consists of hours and minutes and seconds. However, if you just do, if you get up and you do, and you had a plan, obviously, if you have a plan, you do. If you have no plan, you fail. Without a plan, you have no purpose. People say, what's the purpose? What's my purpose? What's this purpose? Why is everybody asking what their purpose is? You don't need to ask anyone else what your purpose is. The purpose for you is to make a plan for what you are capable of doing. And you, without limits, can do all. And whoever says you can't do all, or whoever says you cannot do all, is a fucking liar. They're fucking lying. Because they're not you. How dare you limit yourself to what others believe you are capable of? Don't. You look the other direction in that case. Or just walk away. 'Cause simple, human, we got legs. We have 2 making legs. And guess what you can do with a couple of legs? Fuck, you can get the hell out of anywhere real quick. You can run, you can jump. You could crawl. Like we know, there's a guy who's half a guy. Shit, he runs on his hands. So don't ever say you're limited. You cannot possibly be limited to any. But you are capable of all. Once you come to the realization and the acknowledgement to know, now stick with me here, you must know that you are capable of all before proceeding. You couldn't possibly get to your destination without knowing where your destination fucking is. So in order to get to your precise, the you inside of you choosing where you choose to go, once you find out what it is you know, and you choose to know, you grab a hold of that thought, you make a plan, and you accomplish it. Life's nothing but a whole bunch of failures. I mean, you're a failure once you succeed. And once you succeed and know what that knowingness is of succeeding, you never want to fail again. And being that you know that you can get to where you want to go based on a plan, you couldn't fail if you got there once. You couldn't possibly fail. You couldn't possibly be limited if in fact you've gotten there before. So don't be the you who is convinced by others that you are limited. I mean, once again, think about this. Limit, limited, limitless is just a word created by a human. It was thought about one day, written down, and then described. So, it's just made up. Nothing's real. It's up to you to just look out and get what you want, get what you desire, get what you're fiending after. If in fact it is something that you truly desire. There's no limit after that then. But if you start setting limits on what you are capable of, shit man, you just let doubt take over. Hate to say it, doubt's not you. Don't become a they, them. Do not. Be you. And be you. To the best of your knowingness. Because nobody else will know you better than you know you. Because once you know, you know, you know, you know. You know? Now listen. Last time we were in time on Today Day, we had asked this. Here's something to think about, and it's not really something that we asked, but it's something that we stated. Just a couple of 4-word that were right next to each other, and it kind of made sense to say them out loud. And here's something to think about from the previous episode of the TrapHouse podcast. Perpetual motion through space. And since this is the Here's Something to Think About episode, you were just supposed to fucking think about it. Don't look nothing up. Don't ask a friend. Fuck, this ain't Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. You ain't trying to get nobody else involved in the Here's Something to Think About episode. It's what you think about it. So what do you think about perpetual motion through space? Hit it in the comments. Hit that like button too while you're down there. Don't really hit it like, just scroll over or just push it real quick. It takes 2 seconds, not even. Shit, from the time I said 2 seconds, you could have liked and shared this. So again, I'll reiterate. Perpetual motion through space. What did you think? Well, you thought a lot about it. Well, why wouldn't I? I'm the one saying it. So here's what you thought about it. Perpetual. Perpetual to me sounds like it's that word just tells me that something it keeps going. There ain't no end to it. Perpetual. Maybe if you take like a ball and you roll it down in a hill that never ends, what would be perpetual? The rolling of the ball or the hill itself? Perpetual. And then motion. Perpetual motion. There should be, if there's a never ending of something, and then there's motion behind that never endingness, and then you're moving through something. Perpetual motion through. Through. Perpetual motion through what? Space. And what would space be? Oh, in the sky, you say? Well, now, Epiphany Chris has a lot to say about perpetual motion through space, because I thought about it in an instance. Perpetual motion is definitely the ability to move and continue to move. And then through space. You'd have to first know what space is. I know what space is. Space is what I take up. Space is what you're in. Space is not light years away. Space is not 300,000 miles away. Space isn't past some firmament. That's not space. It's space, but it's not space. Perpetual motion through space. If in fact you own the space that you're in, you should, if you know what I'm talking about. If you own the space you're in and you're perpetually moving through it, which direction you going? If in fact there are direction, which one and which way are you choosing to go with your perpetual motion? Because it's not going to stop until the day you fucking eat the dirt. You making wise choices along the way? Are you choosing to continue forward? Each step made is a step forward. This whole 3 steps forward and 2 steps back analogy is fucking bullshit. The only person that allows you to walk backward would be fucking you. You couldn't possibly move forward if you're moving backward. Those who live in the past tend to stay there. And then once you get stuck in that past, ain't nobody in the future can get you out. I would encourage you all to be perpetual motion through space for you. You couldn't possibly be in motion for anyone else, could you? And if that's the case, I'd love to see it. It's almost like you'd have to put somebody on as a suit. You know? One of them weird things where they step on your toes, you hold their hands, and they just walk in front of you on your toes. I'm not trying to wear a human, you know? That's fucking strange. I already am human. What do I want another human attached to me for? I think the best idea for you would be to be you perpetually in motion through space. Because the space you occupy is the space you put yourself in. You must have put yourself there because you're there. And to say you didn't get to where you were because you made choices that got you there, not only are you lying to yourself, but you're lying to everyone else. There's no such thing as this hope that everybody's believed in. Hope does not exist. Because with hope, you don't need to do anything for hope, and that's probably why hope is such a vibrant thing nowadays. Oh, I hope I get the job. I hope I advance. I hope I'm able to get this done before fall. I hope this. I hope that. You could spend all day in hope and you'll be fucking drowning in it. But what the fuck you doing about all these things you're hoping for? Anything? If you stand in hope, you are definitely not perpetual motion through space. I encourage you to be perpetual motion. Perpetual motion, that's continuing. You don't fucking stop. There's no going backward when you are perpetually moving, continually through space. Head on. You must be. The second you turn your back on today, or the second you turn your back on perpetual motion, what's my boy Isaac say? An object in motion tends to stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. My boy Isaac, man, he fucking nailed it, didn't he? If you are perpetually moving forward through space, what are you going to allow to be in your way while you are in perpetual motion through space? I can tell you this. Let me just give you a stupid little story. So I'm a human, obviously. Epiphany Chris is human. This ain't no robot. This ain't no generated AI bullshit. I don't get none of my information from anywhere other than inside of this fucking brain that I was given. But let me tell you this. If I'm walking, which sometimes I do, because I have legs, and I'm on the sidewalk and I'm walking on the sidewalk, obviously I'm skipping all the cracks, don't want to break grandma's back. If I'm walking down the sidewalk and then all of a sudden another human crosses my path, I just keep walking. You may talk, you may say, you may interact, but I'll tell you right now, just because there's another human on the sidewalk doesn't mean I'm going to stop walking the sidewalk. If you're driving in your car and you come to a stoplight, do you put it in reverse and say, no, I mean, there's a stoplight here. It's going to deter me from my direction of travel. I got to turn around and go backwards and figure out why it stopped. Nope. You know that that's going to turn green. You must know. And keep going forward. Perpetual motion. What the fuck is the point of going backward? To know the past is one thing, but to relive it, that's another. And that's your choice. That's a choice you would make if you choose to live in the past. So let me just give this word of advice. I mean, I know we ask a lot of questions around here. That's what this podcast is. It's not up for me to answer any of these questions for you. I present them. That's it. It's just a string of word. And it's up to you to decipher what it is, I guess. It's up to you. But however you choose to decipher, you must know that Epiphany Chris is sitting behind this microphone just telling you to make wise choices. I'm literally not asking you to make wise choices. I'm telling you to make wise choices. Because in fact, I've gone down the path where you don't make wise choices. It's not as pleasant as if in fact you make wise choices. And not just wise choices for you, but for you too. Because everyone out there is a you. And you don't even have to believe that. That's the truth. That's something you should know already. If you look out and you see another human, that's you. That's not me, you say. That couldn't possibly be me. I'm over here. That's a you too. Perpetual motion through space. Which direction are you headed? Now that's just how that was supposed to go. You know why? Because it went that way. Now we obviously got to break this down, man. We gotta get to hear something to think about for the next and following episode, if in fact there would be. However, we never know if there will be. But here's something to think about on the next episode of the TrapHouse podcast, which will be aired today. Are you? I'll reiterate. I love that word, reiterate. It means to say something over again. It's great to repeat yourself over and over and over again. It's awesome. Because breath, I mean, you have as many breath as you have until the day you die. You might as well use as many of them up as you can. So let me reiterate. What a great word. Here's something to think about on the next episode of the TrapHouse podcast. Are you you? Now, I'll tell you right now, it's been a blast these past few todays. Because today is just, I mean, it's not, you can't even say like it's never ending because you really couldn't possibly know that. But today, I'll tell you right now, today, it's today, man. It's today. And if in fact you look at today as today, you know what? I can't even help it. I can't even help it. It just makes me happy to know that today is today. What about you? What do you think about today when you think about today? What day today are you thinking of? It should be today. And that's it. To plan ahead for the future, okay, I guess. I get you want to do that. But in fact, today is what you got. And if you make today your day, make it you day. If you make it a you day, every day going forward, every today will be the you day that you make it. I heard somebody the other day say to me, I said, you have a good day. And they said, I will get the day I deserve. I haven't heard a truer statement in a while. That's the most truth I've heard come out of someone's mouth. And it's one of the best things to hear is another human saying some truth. And it's not even like it's this human's truth. It's a generational. It is a humanoid. It is a fucking fact, not even my opinion, truth that you will get the day you deserve. What kind of day do you think you deserve? That's not up for me to tell you. I don't fucking know. Put it in the comments. But to know, right? To know. Simple 2 words, right? 2 word. T-O. Know. K-N-O-W. To know. Boy, that's a great thing, isn't it? To know. And even then, to claim to know. It's just to know is the best. If there was a best, which we're at that debatable stage as well, because we're not here to compete or compare with any. We are just here to create. So to know that you do not know would be an outstanding thought, now wouldn't it? To know what you do not know, and then to do something about it. Thus creating a knowingness of something you do not know. Because once you know what you know. There's no going beyond what you could possibly know. To believe, now that, my friends, is a deception. You cannot believe in something unless you know it. To claim belief over something that is unknowable is a lie. You couldn't possibly know something that you've never known until you know it. But in order to know it, you couldn't possibly just believe in it. Because to know and to believe are 2 different thoughts. I'd love to break it down for you, but we ain't got that kind of time. You either know or you do not know. And if you know you do not know, you do. When it comes down to blatant facts, in my opinion, I've always been of the opinion that you are capable of all. You are. And whatever it is you do today will affect who you are today. So make wise choices, like Mom says. Always make wise choices. Make them wisely. You couldn't, because in life you're given nothing but choices. That's the craziest part. There's choices for every fucking thing. It doesn't matter what it is. There's 700 different versions of it. And you must choose wisely between the 700. You want to go buy a new pair of shoes. There are 7 million different pairs of shoes out there for you. And then they've got it to where you got to boil it all the way down to where, are you running? Are you walking? Are you playing basketball? Are you playing football? Are you playing rugby? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? And then if in fact you do something different, there's a different shoe for all the different things you can do. So you in your life have been given nothing but choices. How have you been making them choices lately? And obviously you must make one choice, one choose, one choice at a choice. Every choice you're given, you must make that one choice wisely. You cannot and have never had the capability of holding more than one thought in your mind at a time. So, focus on what you're doing. Focus on the choices that are around you that you need to make. Once you start making choices wisely, every choice you make going forward will be a wise choice, thus creating a habitual behavior of you choosing wisely. Now I get it. It's a lot to take in. But if you took each day as today, each day, I mean, you're only guaranteed the day you're in. If you make it to the next one, good on you. Good on you. What are you going to do with it then? And once you know what it is you do not know, you know you need to know. So I encourage you, please just remember this. These are facts, in my opinion. Whether you agree or disagree, you are the most important. So you make the choice for you. I can't make it for you. If I could, I would, but I cannot. And then if I could make it for you, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't. So stay focused on who you choose to be. Again, man, get rid of distractions. Get rid of the things that are distracting you. Get rid of the things that are leaning you this way or that. Taking you off a path of you. Because the you path that's a path that you create. Nobody else has ever seen it. I mean, it's like nothing. There is no other path like it. And you get to create it. So what are you going to do with the time you have now? Hit the comments and let me know. All I have to say to you is, you do? Do you have no need or want to have? You do? Now that's the most factual opinion I've got today, folks. See you later.